Hello and welcome to Hixxy Studio. In this video I am going to show you how to make this card. It's really quite simple but really effective. Okay, so what we are using one of the dies, this little birds on the wire die from Trim Crafts, first edition crafts. It's just called Birds Dies. It's a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different beautiful dies. Okay, so that's one that we're using. The sentiment comes from another Trim Craft set called Sentiments Dies, and we're going to be using this Good Times one. And then we are going to be using just some black card, some white stamping card, and then 3 colours of Distress Oxide to create our lovely sunset effect. Okay, so I have got my card blank and I have cut 3 circles. Now it doesn't have to be circles, it could be squares, could be rectangles, whatever you've got, but they just need to be nesting. Okay, hopefully that will, a little bit of residue from the tape from when I cut them. So we'll put the black ones to the side for now, and we're going to actually do this in one go, so we don't have to ink the 2 circles separately. We can do it all in one hit. But what I am going to do, if I can find the end of my tape, where did that go? It's just to get a little piece of low tack tape and just winding it round, sticky side out. And then I'm just going to put it on the middle of the back one, just because I don't want this to move while I'm inking, but I do want to be able to take it off once we finish. So with Distress Oxides, I like to use the brushes. I also prefer to use Distress Oxides as opposed to Distress Inks for this kind of blending, because they sit on the top of the card for longer and it gives you much more blending capability. So we are going to start with the with the mustard seed. So we're going to start with a yellow at the bottom. Oh, and look, I've already got nice red mark. That's okay. We'll keep that one as the top, and that will disappear once we start inking. Okay, so I am literally just going to start going in from the bottom, and I'm kind of going roughly, and I say roughly, a third of the way up. And you can always go backwards and forwards with this. So there's our mustard seed, and then I'm going to get my rusty hinge, okay, and then literally I'm just going to go across the middle. Now at the moment it doesn't look very blended, and it isn't. So what we will be doing, once I've got some of this on, enough that there's a nice sort of smooth wet surface, I'm going to go back in with my mustard seed and start to blend it. Okay, and then you'll see that the orange will come down into the yellow, and we will get a nice blend for the bottom of our sunset. Now this bit here, I know why that is. Remember when I was just rubbing off, that is residue from my low tack tape. You can see it's coming off there, and obviously that's sticky, and then it forms a resist. So make sure you've taken off all your low tack tape before you start this. Okay, so we've got the bottom. In fact, I'd like a little bit more orange coming down there, so I'm just going to go back over. Now I do have quite a few brushes, but I don't have a brush for every color. I have kind of brushes like this one will do all kind of my like bright yellows, like my squeezed lemonade, and things that are bright. And however much I put one into another, as long as I'm not like putting that brush into there, they don't seem to contaminate. So although I've been going over the yellow, I'm not going to be putting yellow back onto my my orange rusty hinge there. So turn it round and let's go from the top with our festive berries. Okay. And again. Now the good thing about sticking the two together is that you're getting kind of the same gradation. So you're not going to have to sort of try and match it up, worrying that you're going further down on one than you were on the other. Okay, so getting the red in at the top. Okay. And then bringing it down into the orange, and then I'm going to go back into my orange and then kind of blend that in. So it kind of becomes a seamless sort of sunset. I'm just going to go back in here. More. I want a little bit more yellow. Yeah, I've gone a bit too far with the orange, but hey ho, you're getting the idea. There is our lovely sunset with our lovely bright yellow at the bottom, going up through into our oranges and then up to our red at the top. I'm just going to put a red on there. Okay, so I am going to put my oxides to one side. I'm going to put my brushes away, and then I am just going to clean my mat. I'm going to get a little bit of water, a little bit of rice paper, clean that up, and that will go into my stash for another time. Excuse me, I think I've got a couple of sheets there, that's okay. So all I'm doing, you could do this with I don't know, any sort of like thin paper. It just saves you losing all that ink, because there's a lot of ink there, and that will dry, and I can use that on a collage mixed media piece. Anyway, I digress. Let's go back to our card. So now I am going to give that a little blast with my the thing with Distress Oxides, you can layer them. So I'm talking over my thing here. When they're wet like this, they're very, very blendable, but they are layerable, but you do need to dry them and heat set them in between. But okay, I digress again. Okay, here are our inked circles, and then we bring back in our little black one that sits in the middle, and you can see now we have that beautiful sunset. So I am I going to put these together yet? No, I'm not, because I want to do that with 3D glue gel. So the next thing to do is to cut our little birds on the wire and our good times. So I have both of those dies here. Here is the good times, and I'm just going to, very aware I've got ink all over my hand. I'm just going to grab a tissue, and I am going to just spray my fingers as well, just so that I can do that and then rub it off on here. Otherwise I'm going to get ink where I don't want it. Right, so I just have an off cut of the black card, just big enough for both the sentiment and the birds. Sorry, just looking for my tape to sit these down. Okay, and grab the plate and through the Gemini. Got our glue ready. We're going to need a little bit of glue gel, and we're also going to need some of our acrylic glue, which I've put into a fine tip bottle. Okie dokie, here we go. Here are our dies. This bird set are beautiful for these kind of silhouette type cards. They because they are just solid die, there's no detail on, they create these beautiful, beautiful silhouettes. Pick this one out. Here we go. We'll clean the die in a bit. There's the sentiment, and here are the birds. Now, when you are considering the size of your die, I made it just so that the black literally, it just goes off the edge. Obviously you don't want a circle that's going to be too big. Okay, so we are going to stick our birds on, and you can see it is a very very thin. So I've got a bit of copier paper here, and I'm going to just put a bit of glue on the back of each of the birds, and then I am going to go along. That's why I've got a little fine tip applicator, so that I can get onto those fine bits. However, I am still going to blot it a little bit, so I'm not getting too much bleed out. Let's get our dye back. So I'm going to put this towards the bottom. I'll make sure I've got him around the right way. There we go. And then I am also going to stick this on. The reason I'm doing this now is because I want this to go on here and then it to be raised on 3D glue gel. And if I try and stick this on top once this is on 3D glue gel, it just squishes everywhere, which is no good. I'm just going to put some little bits of glue in around, and again I'm going to block that off, and I'm going to put it kind of here. Okay, and then we're going to stick this onto our little black circle. Whoops. That to dry for a minute and push it down again in a second. I'm going to put this one on flat. Like so. There. And then we're going to use some 3D glue gel. Put this one on, just to give it a bit of dimension. Okay. Out the way. Okay, so there we have our I said I wasn't going to do that. I'm now trying to push it down. Okay, so all that faffing, and I still did it wrong. Not wrong, but I will now have to leave that to dry so that I can then put a little bit more pressure on, but that's not an issue. Now, I did this one with beautiful sunset colours with a black silhouette, but you don't have to do it in that colourway. This is using the white and using, I use scattered straw and speckled egg to create my background on this one. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a sunset. You can use this any colour scheme you like. It doesn't even have to be white, anything you like. But very, very simple to do. Nice, easy inking, nice, easy die cuts. Perfect card. Thank you for joining me.